Alright, people doing this on the fly as usual, but today I'm actually going to make a video about something I was actually working on today, which is getting Verge added to the Ledger hard wallet. Now, for those who don't know, let me explain a little bit backstory on what each of them are. Verge, as you can see in front of me, is a cryptocurrency that has a privacy as an option. So you can send it like any other cryptocurrency. However, you can also have the option to use privacy within your transactions using stealth addresses. So that's what Verge is. Ledger is a hardware wallet where you can keep multiple cryptocurrencies in. Full disclosure, I'm a fan of both projects or companies or what have you. Verge itself is more of like a team, whereas Ledger is a company, of course. But I'm a fan of both. I have a Ledger and I have some Verge, right? All I want personally, to be clear, is I want to put my Verge on my Ledger, right? However, over the past couple of years, and yes, years, there's actually been a little bit of a problem with it. So, a little while ago, I think it started earlier than 2018, but I'm pretty sure a little bit, well, probably closer to the end of 2017, early 2018. Verge, or you can see some of the devs here, Justin for Vendetta being one of them. I'm actually, one of the founders. Um, try to get support for Verge on the Ledger. Now, this is a whole GitHub, pretty much all about it, where they essentially talk about, and you can read through it. I'll scroll through it very shortly. By the way, BT Chip is going to be one of the co-founders and lead developers over at Ledger. So you'll see they go on a little bit. They kind of go back and forth, essentially about stealth addresses. So essentially, and I'll keep scrolling down here. In a nutshell, between 2018 all the way until now, they've well, kind of early 2019, they've been back and forth about the fact that um, adding Verge to the ledger without the stealth address feature doesn't make sense. So essentially, we'd be adding Verge, but it only be as like pretty much like a regular cryptocurrency. So Verge without the privacy feature. Um, Now it seems like here that BT Chip, one of the co-founders had mentioned, or and actually Vishal, whoever this guy is, had mentioned that it doesn't make sense to have you know, it doesn't make sense to have Verge on the ledger without the privacy feature, since it kind of defeats the purpose. Why call it a privacy coin or an optional privacy coin if there is no option for privacy? And I definitely hear that. So again, I'm going to be giving my opinions midway through all this stuff. So keep in mind what's my opinion and what's going on here. Um, yeah, so they were saying that there's no point essentially in having Verge added if they're essentially not going to put on the privacy feature for it. Now, I disagree with that, only because the whole point of the Verge is, as in its entirety, is its privacy as an option, right? Monero, as far as I'm concerned, actually I think Monero does have an optional feature as well. I'm actually not sure on that, so I'm not sure. But either way, the point is that Verge, you have the option for privacy. So to me, as long as you're informing the users that when they put Verge on the ledger, you know they're opting out of that privacy. For the most part, I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty sure most people who have Verge and send it back and forth aren't using the privacy feature anyways. So I don't think it's that big of a deal to not have that added within the actual code for supporting it on Ledger. But that's my opinion. Of course, these guys will think whatever they like. To be honest with you, I think the biggest issue with having it added all the way back here was the lack of professionalism between both parties. Uh, right. So as you can see here, let me see here. Some of them kind of like this visual guy kind of gets a little bit it's a little bit tight over here. Um, he essentially says that accuses them of potentially willing to steal or take what another cryptocurrency took and just implement it in the Verge. Um, and you can see here, sorry if you felt personally attacked. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think either way, for the most part, adding Verge to Ledger is going to be benefit for both communities. And I did want to add here too that they actually did do the MVP for Ledger. So if you want, you can actually sideload Verge, or I guess I don't know if that's the right wording. You can actually put Verge onto your Ledger by doing whatever. Honestly, I have no idea how to do it. I like to say that I'm a little bit technical savvy, but not to the point of this, and not to mention this is no way for adoption to happen at all by any means. But they essentially already made it here, right? So they have it here. I mean, this is a GIF, I guess. So I'm sure they have more than that. But they actually have the MVP essentially ready to put on Ledger, from what I understand. So in my head, I'm like, okay, they have the MVP. Ledger was just waiting for them to give them the product. Because as far as I'm concerned, Ledger makes the cryptocurrencies do the work in terms of doing the implementation, and they give it to Ledger, and I think Ledger connects it. As far as I'm concerned, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me please in the comments. Um, and then I decide, okay, if that's the case, if everything's ready, why don't I go on Reddit and say something? Because people had been Reddit, and yeah, let me make this clear. People had been on Reddit and on both the Ledger Wallet Reddit and the Verge Reddit posting about this for a while, both mainly back in 2018, a little bit in 2019. So I decided, screw it, let me just throw this up 18 hours ago. And I literally just asked, is there a reason why Verge hasn't been added to the Ledger officially? According to the GitHub pull request, it's ready to go, and they even reconfirmed on Twitter that the work on their end is done. So I'll even bring up Twitter as well. You'll see here that they actually have already made the ability to add on to Verge. Oh, wait, let me go back. Oh, messing up here. But they have already made that functionality here, right? So the instructions essentially, I think this is the same page. Oh no, here we go. This is actually it. Right. So apparently you can actually load it onto the app yourself. Again, I'm not sure how to do it, but that's what I'm saying. If they already have it loaded up, then why not just take the MVP and throw it onto Ledger? Nonetheless, I said, okay, maybe I'm missing something here. What else needs to be done? Someone mentioned, is Verge still around? Blah blah. There's a clone now, I guess. The probably. Oh Jesus Christ! I just saw this. Moved on to Hex. Jesus, no one's on to Hex, bro. Don't worry. You can see here they've upgraded their chain, so their source code now is also the latest of the Bitcoin code. Very nice. But this is the main one. So this is BT Chip again, the guy from 3 years ago in that GitHub. We didn't see a high demand to add Verge without stealth address support. If there is, high demand with the third-party wallet supporting the Verge integration, the coin integration team can reevaluate. So I guess what he's saying here, they didn't see a high demand to add Verge without the use of stealth addresses. So what this is telling me is, if people actually wanted to see this happen without stealth addresses, then they would be all about it. And then, of course, they also mentioned that there needs to be a third-party wallet supporting the Verge integration. Not gonna lie, I have no idea what that means, but maybe someone can highlight or maybe help me out with that. I mentioned, and I put that response in Twitter, and then I mentioned, and the Mark Me, one of the main devs over there, said, "We won't bring stealth addressing as it's useless for centralized services. They will know who you are by then, anyways." And then I say, because I know if I just respond with that, that's not going to get us anywhere. Is there a way where if there was just a huge amount of community support that we can get Verge to be added without stealth addresses? Verge is a privacy as an option coin, so users who use the Ledger opt out of such privacy by agreeing to throw their Verge on there. Just trying to come to a middle ground here. BT Chip went ahead and said the team will recheck and reevaluate at some point. So, and I responded thanking him essentially. So, I think the main thing here is that you got to talk to people respectfully, right? So it was clear that from this whole conversation here, that both parties were a little bit tight with each other and they just weren't happy. It's like two kids bickering back and forth. That's where the marketing team and public relations team comes into play, bro. Like, or the community. I mean, I guess me being a member of the community, I'm not part of any team. I just want to Verge on my Ledger. That's where someone who has, I guess you could say, the ability to speak comes into play. I'm not the best at speaking, as you can hear me. I stutter a lot, but I try my best to treat people with respect until they don't deserve it. I think that honestly, this was just an unfortunate situation here. Someone got tied, both of the parties got tied, and then nothing ended up happening. But I'll tell you right now, from what I see, geez, I'm going back and forth. From what I see here, this guy is fully willing to say, "Yo, let's throw Ledger, let's throw Verge on." Just seems like they just want some support. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do anything after this. If I have time, maybe I'll try to get like some sort of. Maybe I'll talk to the marketing team over at Verge, see if we can get something going, like a, like a, what do you call that? Like a support page or something? I don't know. Like get a lot of people to like it, essentially, to like it's like a support something. What do you call it? Like a GoFundMe or something? I go to not a GoFundMe, but make a change, something like that. I don't know. I'll see if I can get in touch with the Verge team, maybe, and to see if we can go from there. Because again, it seems like all these guys need, and mind you, he literally said it. What this tells me here is that they don't mind adding it without stealth address support. It's just that they didn't see a lot of people willing to like wanting it. To be honest with you, I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like back then a lot of people really wanted it. You can even see back in the Reddit posts. But I think it'd be a lot easier if it was on one page. You had like you had a couple of hundred people like vote yes on wanting that support, and we took it from there. Because honestly, or maybe even on Twitter, probably do a Twitter poll and just tell the marketing team, yo, like maybe shout me out. Maybe we can get these people to like this. I don't know, but there has to be some sort of give and a take here, because obviously Verge is not a company. Ledger is, so it's like you're dealing with two different beasts here. There needs to be someone in the middle that says, okay, differences aside, like if we want adoption of both products, and then I'm not talking physically for Verge, of course. I'm talking about the community and the coin. If we want adoption of both products, you you need to have more. You need to expand a little bit. I mean, you can't let minor differences get in the way, especially if something that's already done. Again, it legit seems like this stuff is done already. I know Verge is kind of complaining, and I'll even bring up the Discord here. My man over here said, Randy, he had mentioned that he doesn't like that. What did he say here? He said something along the lines of them getting pretty much of Ledger getting paid off of the work that MarpMe and Sunarock are doing. And I guess to a certain extent that's correct. Yeah, I mean they'll probably sell more devices because of Verge, but that's the thing. I mean, the Verge community will grow because of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand where there's some differences, but you guys got to come to some sort of agreement. Okay, I want to see my Verge on a Ledger. That's what it comes down to. All right, selfish as fuck. Anyways, thanks for listening. Hopefully we can get this happening. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video if it does. And if it doesn't, then I won't make a follow-up video. So thanks for watching anyways, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.